invited guest, an erudite speaker, a former distinguished senator of the Federal Republic, and one who is not afraid to share his views when it comes to what is right, whether politically or non-politically correct. Please, let's put our hearts together and welcome distinguished Senator Sani Shehu. Senator, you're most welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, and good evening.
Evening. The mic is yours, sir.
Aha. Well, first of all, I must appreciate the honor and the privilege of COPDEM for this invitation. And secondly, I must commend you for your effort over the time in terms of promoting and defending democracy and democratic ideals. I believe that effort like yours will go a long way in sensitizing and conscientizing our populace to know their rights and also to preserve and protect our democracy. Of major concern is the fact that democracy is under serious threat, not just by the issues of what security agencies do, but the threat to democracy that should be of concern to everyone is this menace of vote buying, this monetization, and the corruption of the political and electoral process in the country, where people don't vote their conscience and don't vote leaders who will protect, defend their interests, or leaders with vision, but they vote people who give them money. That happens in 2023 election, and unfortunately, when you are of the thought that people are suffering, people are in one way or another not discontent, there is discontent and disenchantment in the land, that people will think differently from what is happening or is about to happen in the Edo State. It's a clear indication that people have not learned their lessons. The political parties, all of them, have resigned to the fate that the only way for them to get votes is to make money available for the electorates. And they are amassing hundreds of millions, and also the people are now ready also to collect the money. So you can see that nothing has been learned in the last 1 year, despite what happened in 2023 elections. So COPDEM, you have a lot of work to do, and for people like us, the most we can is to support your effort and also see little intervention we can make as much as possible on this process. So I will not take much time than to tell you that I will like to have your own account details, and my contribution will be seen in the alert when you receive it, rather than making a public pronouncement of it. But be rest assured that I identify myself with your cause, and I will make my own contribution as much as early as I get your account details. So this is what I can say for now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, indeed, Senator, we had yielded the mic for you to give us your contribution on the topic, and somehow you have been led to make a contribution to the funds for awareness. I think it is like killing two birds with one stone. So thank you so much for that privilege. We will make sure that you get the details. So
yes.
We have been waiting in anticipation to have your perspective on the topic of the day, local government elections. The mic is still back to you, sir.
Well, as everyone knows the three types of government: federal, state, and the local government. The government that is closest to the masses in the urban centers and also the rural areas is the local government. We grew up in a country where we know more about what happens in our local government than what happens at the federal level. Our councillors, our local government chairmen used to be the most closest to us. But over the years, we have seen the destruction of the local government system, where local government has been subsumed as a unit of the state government. They appropriated their funds. They also appropriated their administrative positions. Local government chairmen in the last 2.5 decades were not elected, simply selected, and a ceremony is done as a form of formality, and then they are imposed on people. So no matter what we will say, but this is the first time under this administration, at least, from the ruling we have had in the Supreme Court, an autonomy was granted to local government to the control of their finances. But the devil that remains alive is the electoral process to local government, because all the states now have realized, governors have realized that they can't control the local governments now, and as such, the election is as important as the life of the state governor. So local government elections are going on today, and unfortunately, most people who are interested in local government elections are only politicians. Most of our young people, I can confidently say 95% or 90% of our young people, if you go online, you'll see that they are more interested in what's happening at the federal level, not even at the state level. But the issue of local government is as important as the survival of democracy in Nigeria. Looking at the resources which a local government chairman and his councillor will control makes the election an important ingredient of democracy. And we should form the habit of getting into holding them accountable and knowing what is going on. And even most NGOs that monitor elections, they are not interested in monitoring local government elections. They are only interested in monitoring elections at the federal level, at the national level, or at the state level. So we, I can say that this is a historic opportunity for people to take control of their government at the lower level, and also the resources that avails to that strata of government. So my own little contribution is that people should be more interested in participating in local government elections, and political parties should know that the Supreme Court has given Nigerians the power they never, they had, but was appropriated by the state for over 2.5 decades. Now people have to take that election seriously for us to have a real democracy at the grassroots level.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator Sani Shehu, for gracing our platform with your presence. And so, ladies and gentlemen in the platform, it's time for, if you have any questions for the distinguished senator, kindly raise up your digital hand. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise up your digital hand so we can move and call you to make a contribution. Yes, Newsvan, please. You can unmute.
Yeah, thank you very much. Senator Sani, thank you for attending this gathering. I want to hear your opinion on this issue of low voter turnout. Let me use Anambra State, for example. And I want to see what you say about that. In Anambra State since 1999, the average voters has been constant, around 500,000 voters for every election. Doesn't matter whether it's presidential, governorship, and even with P2B contesting, we can only see less than 1 million votes, whereas Anambra has 2.1 million registered voters. And so, can you advise what strategy will be needed to bring the 65% of registered voters, at least, who have not voted since 1999? Because what we saw voter turnout in 2023 was around, I think, 33% or so. And so what will an organization like COPDEM do to mobilize the rest of the 65% to come out and vote? And if they do, what chances are there that they will vote for a different candidate rather than the ones that will always give people money to vote for them? I don't know if you can share any insight on this point, please.
Yeah, low voter turnout is a problem that we have been facing since 1999. And unfortunately, when you compare what happened under the Second Republic of President Shehu, there are more people who voted than people under this Fourth Republic. And you can imagine to see in a country of 224 million people, the man who emerged the president of the country, he won with just a vote of 8 or 10 million people? So you wonder, where are all Nigerians? Where were they? We have had statistics from INEC that over 90-something million Nigerians collected the PVC. But if you put the total number of people who voted in 2022 election, is the lowest in the history of Nigeria. And it is the most noisome in the history of Nigeria. I never thought that in a country like ours, where there is so much noise by the ruling party, by the PDP, and by the Labour Party supporters, religious leaders were involved, community leaders, the nation was almost at its peak of political passion and interest. But when it comes to the statistics of those who voted, it was the lowest in the history of this country. And I wonder what is the problem. So I was thinking of a solution. And one of those things is that INEC has a duty to start publishing the names of people who refused to vote or who collected PVC and refused to vote. And perhaps if all Nigerians will agree that whoever collects PVC and refuses to vote will have to pay a certain fine to the country, because there is no reason why you should waste the public resources to go and collect. You say it's your right to vote. Yes, it is your right to vote. But it is not, how can that be a right for you to collect a PVC that was spent with public funds and then you just go and sit down in your house? So I think we have to reach a certain point that there should be some form of penalty. Not forcing people to vote, but if you know you are not going to vote, there is no reason for you to go and collect a PVC card. Because those PVC were manufactured with hundreds of millions of taxpayers' money. And your refusal to come and vote puts the whole country in jeopardy. You sit down in a beer parlor, sit down in a restaurant, sit down in a club, sit down in your working place and talk about the problems of Nigeria and the need to elect credible, transparent, and visionary leaders into office. And then you don't come out and vote. So what is the essence of it? A person who doesn't talk and pick a PVC and vote is more important to the country than you that talk for almost 4 years. And when it comes to the issue of voting, you don't know where to be found. So I would suggest that we should devise a means of holding those who refuse to vote to account so that we can move forward. For a case of Anambra, as you have seen, one thought that even with a presidential candidate that came from that state, one thought is that there would have been 99.9% turnout, people who should vote. But it is unfortunate that such never happened. And if we go on this lane, we are not going anywhere. Look at even the number of Nigerians that are on social media. So if you count the number of Nigerians that are on social media, that are almost about over 30 to 40 or 50 million people, you ask, where are they during the elections? And they're all nowhere to be found. So I would say that all efforts have been done, have been tried. People collecting PVC and keeping it at home. So now we should have a new set of rules of penalizing people who refuse to come out and vote. Nobody is forcing you to come out and vote, but don't collect PVC if you know you're not voting. So that's my little contribution.
Thank you very much, Senator.
Yes.
So I think it would be a very interesting perspective if there's some kind of reprimandation or punishment for people who don't come out to vote. We'll include that in our sensitization, though in a milder way. Thank you very much, sir. Now let's check back. We have Victor Moses, or Moses Victor. Please, you have 1 minute to ask your question or make your contribution.
All right, thank you very much.
Your mic. Yeah.
I want to, appreciate the presence of distinguished senators, sir. Distinguished senator, sir, I'm glad to meet you. I think I want to say this. I just dropped the last page of your book, sipping coffee with my boss just this evening. So it's just fortunate to, meet you here, sir. I have a question, sir. The question is based on voters' participation in election. We for sure, based on the scenario that happened during the 2023 election, presidential election. So I will say that in my local end, I'm saying based on where I came, so my locality, I'm from Kogi State, Kogi Kutukafi local government, Tari ward in specific. So don't you think, because based on the happening in my area now, voters are now losing interest. With this autonomy that now came on board, Senator sir, voters are now losing the interest of coming out to participate in the election because they have the feeling and the conviction that election result will be manipulated. If autonomy is being given, there is still the tendency and possibility that election results will be tampered from even the state because it's a party thing. So I will end by my question now is, don't you think, sir, with what is happening, because the masses are having this very feeling about what will be the aftermath of the election, the state, the federal, or whichever coming to tamper, to maneuver the result, and because of that, they felt it's just a game. They're trying to come up on board. So, Senator, sir, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I know that people tend to give up when their expectation or hopes or dreams is dashed. And for those of us who are older, when before the 2022 elections, I can see the passion, the interest, the fanaticism in the minds and hearts of many Nigerians, especially the younger ones. And they were expecting that the result of the election will turn right, and it went left. So, to me, the issue is that if we refuse to vote, is that we have completely given up hope. And what will not change is that those who will vote and those who, there will certainly be people who will be in power, and they will have a free chance of doing what they want to do, no matter what. Whatever you're going to say about 2022 elections, parties have also won elections. In the Senate now, there is the NMPP, there's PDP, there's Labour Party senators. So if you refuse to vote, it's all going to be APC. And in the states, you have an ABGA governor, you have a Labour Party governor, you have a PDP governor, so you have APC. So if you refuse to vote, it is all going to be APC. I know the expectation of people. People concentrate so much on what happens at the presidential level. But to me, the Senate and the governors are more important to the future of the country than even who becomes the president of the country. If you will double your effort and we have more people from the opposition in the Senate and taking over the states, you are still moving closer there to no matter what it is. You don't give up. Even those people who you think that oppresses you, they also have their fears. And their fears will be wiped out the very day you refuse to vote and they give up. Their fears, because if they're going to rig election, election can only be rigged if there is also an appreciable vote that goes to the rigger. But if you allow him to take everything, then he doesn't need to rig, and it will still be legitimate within the constitution of our country that they have won an election. So we should not give up, because if you are from the Labour Party and you say you will not vote because Obi has not become the president, the danger of it in 2027 is that you will lose even Abia State. If you are from the PDP, you say you will not vote because Atiku has not become the president of Nigeria. The point is that you lose Plateau, you lose Enugu, you will lose Osun, you will lose all those states. So each time you win seats at the legislative level or at the state level, you are moving closer to your end. You are also preventing a one-party state or one-party dictatorship. So we shouldn't give up in this aspect of it. I, for one, knew very well that, you see, the tenacity, perseverance, and standing up to something will someday produce result. Look at what happened in Egypt. Egypt was under Mubarak for almost 25 to 30 years. A single day, change came. And many countries in the world, you see, no matter how long an injustice thrives, an evil thrives, it's a question of time. It will one day crash. But the point is that you need to sustain your own agitation, your own belief, your own demand for what is right. And you cannot do that no matter how bad the National Assembly is, once you have an opposition presence there, they'll be able to, they may not stop everything, but they'll be able to stop some things. And even those who have the overwhelming majority, they know that they cannot achieve some certain things without the opposition. So do not give up because you have a presidential candidate who has not won election. But the more you win election, you are making it difficult and impossible at the end for the ruling party to dominate all spheres of governance in the country. So that is I also have seen people saying they're not going to court because when you go to court, you are also putting the judiciary on trial for the world to see. And if you say you will not, you give up because when you go there, it's going to be a waste of time. Well, all you have done is you have made things easier for those on the top of the mountain or for those in leadership position, for them to continue to dominate over you. So let us not reach that point where everyone will say, you know, young people, I know young people have voted for the first time in 2023, and their expectation are many of them got frustrated. But they should know that Nigeria we come a long way as a country. And the APC was in power in 2015, but they have been in opposition since 90. Many of them have been in opposition since 1990. They didn't give up. So you shouldn't say when you contest. For example, Buhari contested 2003, he lost. 2007, he lost. 2011, he lost. 2015, he won. So I, for one, don't even go far. I contested the Senate in 2003 and I lost. In 2011, I contested, I lost. In 2015, I won. And then in 2023, I wanted to be governor, I lost. And I'm going to contest again. So you see, people who win at the end are not people who give up. You must learn to win and to lose. For a typical politician, he just knows that both victory and defeat are simply temporary. You can win today and lose tomorrow. They are my colleagues in the Senate. Some of them have been in the Senate for almost 20 years or 18 years in the Senate. At a certain election, they will just be wiped out. I have a friend who has been in the House of Reps. His name is Anju Abarde. He represents Shugon Kajuru Federal Constituency. He's been there since 2003 to 2023. That's 20 years. 20 years in the House of Reps. On a single day, this tsunami of Labour Party came to his own area. He was evicted out of power, and one Ikene became so you see, don't say that you contest or your candidate contests and lost, and then you say that you will not. Then you have not taken lessons from people who won elections. Even Bola Tinubu himself is the president of Nigeria today. Look at his own history. In 2019 and in 1999, the presidential candidate of the ADA-MPP, whom he supported, was Olufalai. Olufalai lost election. And in 2007, he supported Ribadu. Ribadu also lost election. In 2011, he was supported Atiku. Atiku lost election. He supported, so he too has history of the people he supported. They lost elections until 2023. So don't say you give up because it has not. Know the mistakes that were made, make corrections and move on. nobody in his right senses who knows what politics is all about will have thought that in 2023 that the ruling party can be evicted at all. I have been in PDP since we had issues in Kaduna State. But when you look at it, Obi 6 point something million, Atiku 6 point something million, Tinubu 8 point something. So you see, it is the opposition that handed over power to ruling party. They handed over power to ruling party because there is no way, even if you allege and have proofs of rigging, there is no way with Kwankwaso, with Atiku, with Obi coming on the same platform in 2023 at a time when you have an outgoing president who is not, there is no incumbency factor. That was, so that aspect should be corrected in 20. The opposition, who, if they are interested in taking over power, the APC itself couldn't have come to power without a merger. So why can't the opposition emulate that? Everyone wants to be president, and then you go to the battle with a divided house. And again, 2027 may even be worse than 2023, in the sense that almost all the parties have crisis. The PDP, look at the situation which is in today. The APC, the Labour Party, look at the problems that are coming here and there. And then the danger of having issues in parties like this is that when one person will go to court and the crisis will linger in the judiciary. For example, a simple crisis of Congresses. Congress is supposed to be one of the most simplest democratic exercises. But when you have Congresses happening and one party member goes to court to challenge it, he will drag that issue until close to the 2027 election. And then when a ruling is given at that level, after 3 years at the highest court on the land, and say that the party has not conducted Congress, then it means the primary election and everything that happened, the convention and everything, comes to zero. And we are still passing through. It seems we are still moving on the same path. So I hope my own explanation will be able to guide you as to why we are here and also where we are going to.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator. I think the message is crystal clear. When you refuse to vote, you have disenfranchised yourself and the person that you believe had the qualities of leadership. So let's move over to the next person. I think we're going to take maybe 2 or 3 more so that we could give our guest some rest.
Mr. Let me make a little addition here. I saw someone that have sent a message in an inbox where he is saying, "Why do I allocate 8 million to Tinubu and then 6 million to Obi?" I did not allocate it. It's what has been there on card. And let me tell you one thing that happens. You see, our electoral system is skewed in such a way that you just have to do everything possible before the election to make sure you garner enough votes to win the election. And because if you are rigged out, you go to court. Look at the process. The next thing is for you to apply to have access to INEC materials. And they'll give you 2 trailers of those materials. And you have sons. You brought 10 of them or 20 of them. Which of the sons will go to every ballot paper searching for your vote? Which of the sons will do that? Within the time frame that you have to present your case. You know, it's not about just disputing that the other person does not have 8 million. it is also about proving that you had enough votes, because the electoral body that gave him such a vote is still the electoral body that gave you that vote. I have lost election and I went to court and I know the process. You see, you don't sit down and read online or read what politicians do and they do. You have to be there. By the time they give you 3 trailers or containers of ballot papers and tell you to find your victory inside, you will know if care is not taken, some of the votes that are even allocated to you will be removed at the process. And there is no lawyer that can finish counting votes within the time frame which the judiciary has given, which the law has given for the case to move from the tribunal to appeal. Nobody can do that. So that's why you find that in most times, try and form a merger and make it impossible at the polling unit for any figure to be changed, and then you gather enough votes. So if you say that you want to blame the winner, now the rulings they have always given is that you have told us that the other person they have fraudulently added figures for him, but you have not provided your own figures to justify that you have won. Because after saying that they have increased the figure of the other person here, you also have to justify your own vote that you have actually won. And who is going to justify that? You have to also bring INEC to it. So when you talk like this, Jonathan could have rigged out. He could have rigged out Buhari out of it, but he was willing. He accepted to do some things which I don't know if you will ever have any. There is no governor in Nigeria or any president that has tried it. Jonathan appointed an INEC chairman whom he has never met and he never knew. Jonathan accepted to bring in a data capturing machine that he never knew that that is going to be his own funeral. And even Jonathan, as a president, he asked Buhari to nominate members of INEC from his own zone to be INEC commissioners. It's only Jonathan that was able to do that. I don't know whether in the future you'll ever have any president of this country who will do that. And what became of it? And it led to him losing elections in his own place. So if we agree that the ruling party have reached elections and they won, but the INEC that announced Jonathan as the INEC that announced Tinubu as the winner of the election, it's also the same INEC that announced that Tinubu has lost Lagos. So please, next time we can do a lot by helping our case right from the grassroots level. Once you see that the opposition refuse to come together to contest election, then do not blame whatever ruling party is going to do. Have yourself to blame, because in all of Africa, in the last 30 years, there is no one single political party that has taken over power from the ruling party without merging. Merger brought the Senegal opposition to power. It was merger that brought Kenya into office is merger and merger and merger and alliances. So I don't know how an individual here, you go into a war with a divided house and to take over a ruling party is going to be difficult for us to do. So please, let's not just waste our time. There's a practical logbook of politics, and there's one you can sit down and to do it in your. Just yesterday, I was in Lagos, and it happened to me. I was lecturing, talking to professor of political science, and I told him that every inch of Nigeria's political territory is controlled by somebody. There is no blank spaces, even areas where you have bandits. Because if you want to know who control the area you live, please just print a poster and paste it outside along your street. By the next day, you will see those posters being removed by the thugs of the person who is in charge of the area. So for you to know that power is in that form, and if you are going to take it, it's not going to simply be an easy thing to do. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator. Wow. So, Aro, are you there? I guess it sounds like a short form for Aro, but
Mr. Pam, our time is
yes.
So can we go give back to Dr. Benweke, please?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do just that. Distinguished Senator, it's been nice and so lovely having you. Thank you for making time to increase our knowledge with your wealth of experience. We hope that next time when we reach out to you, we would have, you would oblige us the same privilege, sir. Okay. I guess he's left. So, Dr. Ngoweke, we have entertained our guests, so we are on the lookout for His Excellency Peter Obi, and also the last guest. Whenever they come, then we can interrupt the fundraising. So, Senator, sir, thank you so much for making time. Dr. Ngoweke, the mic is yours now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and most thank you to the Honorable Senator Shehu Sani for gracing this occasion and enlightening us as regards the political processes in Nigeria and giving us a bit of insight into, if you like, what goes on the battlefield and the best way to prepare for the battle, if you like. Anyway, so obviously we are back again on the item 6 on the agenda, which is fundraising. And as we know, we were making progress, and then we had to stop to give our guest the time to speak to us, which he has done, and we're back again on fundraising. So